Good afternoon, everyone. I've made a recording in which I've spoken about how important it is that your confession is right, that your confession is in agreement with Christ, that is in agreement with His words. I want to continue upon that because when it comes to finances, most of us we have ideas concerning finances, what we think finances are, how we perceive how we perceive our worth in relation to finances. We have all these ideas we are holding on to, but we've never tested those ideas. And I'm not blaming you, because you grew up in a society where the love of money is promoted without you being aware it's the love of money. And the love of money is the root of all evil. Look, in this video I'm not going into the specifics. I just want you to remember that what we call money is an ascribed value. For example, I'm in a restaurant now, by the way. This is salt, okay? In ancient times, there was a time that they used to pay people's salary in salt. Salis is Latin for salt, so salaris is payment in salt. Why? Because salt was important to preserve food. Now, if you live in a desert-like landscape, and you want to preserve your food, they didn't have refrigerators in those days, and they didn't have some ice cap somewhere where they could freeze their food, so they put salt on their food to preserve it, especially with meat. They could preserve it for even weeks, or sometimes even months. So salt was very important. So salt became the currency in some places. If you worked, you were paid in salt. Now, does salt represent your value? No, it's just salt, and it's used as a currency. A currency is something you use to exchange goods and services. And money is the ascribed value to the currency, because the currency is relevant. Now, there were places in ancient times, and also medieval times, where they did not pay in salt, where salt was basically worthless, because they used other commodities to exchange services and goods. So salt could not be used as money over there, because they couldn't ascribe that same value onto it. There they used copper coins. So copper was the currency, and the ascribed value to copper made it into money. So it has to do with your mind. Okay? So when you call yourself poor, when you identify as poor, what you are doing is you are agreeing with a certain state, and you are calling that upon yourself. Look, if you were born in an urban background that's impoverished, like if you come from a ghetto, you come from a ghetto. You are called poor because you came up with that environment, but that should not be something you identify yourself with. And look, even if you have millions on your bank account, those millions are numbers on a screen. Salt is a real commodity, but those numbers on a screen on a bank account are just numbers on a screen. They are imaginations. They don't really exist, but we use it as a means to exchange goods and services. So again, understand what I'm saying here. A currency, today we use numbers on a screen, and sometimes we have those numbers minted on coins or on paper, cash money. Those numbers on the screen are only relevant when it comes to exchanging goods and services. They don't define you. Neither should you seek a definition for yourself based upon the amount of currency you have, or in this case, numbers on the screen. Because the moment you do that, you are operating in the love of money. But now you may think, okay, but how am I going to fix that and fix that? No, this is the thing. Currency, or when you put that ascribed value on it, it becomes money. It is used to make transactions. You do it to pay your rent, you do it to buy a bus ticket. So that's the use of it, but that's all. But we are so focused on wanting to achieve a certain outcome that we are holding on to that outcome as if we hold on to that outcome like let me say, that outcome becomes an idol unto us. And because we have that idol, now money becomes very important. And now money begins to rule you. For an example given, you have people that want relief from emotional pain. So they begin using drugs. They use it once, they're relieved, and without them being aware, they become addicted. Why? That the relief they're seeking for is now keeping them in bondage. And now money is so important because without money they can't be relieved. So what's the problem here? It's not that much the currency, it's not that much money that ascribe value that they have in society. It's their attachment to that outcome combined with the reliance upon those numbers on a screen, that currency, that's keeping them trapped. If they want deliverance, they need to change over here. They need to be in agreement with Christ and His word, and then the outcomes will change. Too often we put too much mental effort and physical effort into changing our circumstances. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're unemployed and you need a job, fill in applications form or go out there and look for a job. I'm not promoting irresponsibility here. I'm not doing that. But nevertheless, even before you fill in application forms and go out, your mindset must be right. If your mindset is the love of money, you are in serious trouble. I mean, you don't know the amount of trouble you're in. You don't know how deep that problem goes. Because the love of money is the problem a lot of people have. It's not their banknotes that's the problem. It's not that they have a lot of cash on the bank, but they still are operating in a cursed existence. They need deliverance. Now, don't get me wrong, those numbers on the screen that we call money, that currency, whether it's euros or yen or dollars, they are only relevant in making exchanges. So don't hook up onto them. Look, go look for a job, or if you have a job, go to your job, do your job well. When you receive that compensation that you call your salary, you pay your rent, you do what you need to do. And through it all, just keep on confessing that you are blessed. Keep on confessing that you are debt-free. Even if you have debt and you're paying off debt, I don't care. Keep decreeing it upon you. You're not denying reality. Because just as I mentioned before, you keep going to the job, you are paying your rent, you're performing your duties, you are doing that. But while you're doing that, and apart from doing that, you decree the promises of the Most High upon you. That you are debt-free, that you are prosperous, that you are healed. So it's not just decreeing things in relationship to those numbers on the screen. Forget about those numbers on the screen. Decree that you're healthy, decree that you're prosperous. Operate in agreement with the word. Let your thinking be in agreement with the word. And it's because you are in agreement with the word, things will begin to change. Look, you are not making decisions so that you can be blessed. You're not. A lot of people think it's like this. You make decisions to get blessed outcomes. No. It's because you are blessed, you will have blessed outcomes. And those blessed outcomes will impact your decisions. That's how it is when you're blessed. But we turn it around, putting all the pressure on us. Yes, you have your responsibility and your effort you're doing, and your responsibility is to agree with the word. Agree with what the word says about you. Don't agree with what's written on your bank account. Okay, what's written on your bank account is only relevant when it comes to making transactions. I've already said that. But that's the only relevance it has. Don't give it too much relevance, because many of your whole mind is ruled by what's on your bank account. Even if there's a lot of money on the bank account, you're now stressed out that one day you might lose it, or you may be scammed, or now anytime you pay something, anytime you make a transaction, your mind goes, oh, how much do I have left? Even though you can have thousands of euros or even hundreds of thousands of euros on the bank account, you're thinking, if I spend this, it's gone. So I need, you get what I'm saying here? The love of money is opening doors to all evil. Because the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, I'm not going into depth on why the love of money is the root of all evil. Just let your mind be in agreement with Christ. Read Psalms 112. Read Isaiah chapter 60. And just go through the words and agree with his promises. Touch them Deuteronomy chapter 28 from verses 1 till 14. And remember, you're not under the old covenant, you're under in the new covenant. You are operating in the New Testament. So agree with the New Testament. The Old Testament is relevant when it relates to the new. Okay? Because the new covenant in Christ is the validation we received by the Most High. So if Christ is the validation, then agree with Christ. Well, that being said, my dinner is arriving. We have peace.